my father before me was in politics for a couple of years, and looking at his success and his progress and the change he has made in this country, I almost feel like it's part of my legacy to take it on. But other than that, women only consist of like 30% of politicians. Did you know? 30% of politicians, like in the House of Parliament and in general politics, only 30%. Now, that's a very small percentage for women. So I decided to go into it to represent our interests to begin with. And secondly, I have a charity organization. We do a lot of philanthropy. And somehow politics and charity work go hand in hand. So mainly, yes, that's the reason. I want to be the change I want to see in the world.
Now, Iris, we have seen you go through highs and lows, and you are one of those strong women that always gets up. The world of politics is quite a rough environment. How are you finding the scene in the mainstream politics?
Okay, I'll tell you honestly that it's not been the easiest of things to get into, because already my life was not non-private, but it looks like a bigger magnifying glass has been on me now that I've decided to run for office. Oh, by the way, I'm running for member of parliament for Wandi constituency in the August elections. So it's twice as hard, I think, maybe even 3 times as hard as it has been, because previously I really didn't owe it to anybody to explain myself or to do anything. I had to consider only myself when I make decisions. But now looks like I've decided to become a mother of an entire constituency. So I think 3 times as hard as it was before.
Okay. So are we breaching that barrier where we see women participate more, or more needs to be done?
Sorry, say again?
Are we breaching the barrier with more women participation this year, or we need more to be done in order for more women participation in active politics?
And I think you will see a change if you do your research. Most candidates, especially in the Western province, I think, are women. And I could see a paradigm shift in the country as well at large. But I think it's basically because our president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, has been encouraging more women participation. So I do see a very big shift in number of women trying to enter this very big male-dominated platform, which is politics.
Okay, now you have, we can say that you have grown around politics with, your father being active in politics for a long time.
Yes.
Would you
Yes.
say there's any difference from, how politics are being conducted then and now?
Yes, actually, a very big shift. Of course, there are negatives and positives in the change, but I'm one person to focus on positives most times. I think previous politics was all about your financial standing, and it was money driven. But I feel politics today is issue driven. You have to have merit to go for a certain position, to vie for position. And I think it's because of the big youth wing that has joined politics, women. There's been a very big change in the type of people trying to run for office these days. So I see people debating real issues, tackling climate change and globalization and all of that, which is a very big thing for politics.
Okay.
Before it was just about money and who sits where.
Okay. Now, Iris, you are very popular, I must say. And looking at the area that you decided to contest in, what led you to picking a rural area as a constituency that you would like to stand in?
Sorry, say again? The network is a bit terrible where I'm at. I'm in my constituency as we speak, so it's quite rural.
Yeah, it is.
So
It
the
is.
network is a bit here and there.
And that was the question. You are very famous, so we would expect you to, let's say, maybe stand for a political position in the towns such as Lusaka, but you opted to go for a rural place in the Western Province. Why did you pick a rural area?
I'll be fair to say that the rural area picked me.
Oh, okay. How did that happen?
That happened because I've been doing a lot of work with my organization called the Kaingu Foundation, like I mentioned earlier. And my focus has usually been rural areas because if you take development to rural areas, you have sorted out so many problems. Firstly, you decongest the city, and people there are looking towards people like us to bring development to the outskirts, the peripherals of Zambia. So I moved to Sesheke, where I live right now. I have a resort there. I moved here in 2017, and it opened my mind to say that rural areas are where development should start and end, I think. Because if you empower people here, there's like, okay, I won't say free labor because you have to pay for it most times, but there's an abundance of hands on which to, because that will create employment. And so it's a lot of things that made me warm up to being in a rural area. I just think that they need opportunities that people in the city get on the silver platter. Only they could work much harder, I think, in trying to develop Zambia.
Okay, pretty amazing stuff. And like I said earlier on, you are Woman Crush Wednesday, and obviously for you to be that means that you're doing something inspirational. Now, Iris, before I let you
Thank
go,
you so much.
it couldn't be a show, in this new normal without talking about it. Recently, you were affected by the COVID-19, virus. If you can just tell us and let the people know that this is actually real by your experience. How was it?
Right. So I should say to begin with, and that's why I put the post out, the coronavirus is real, and I've been a victim of it. I was on the Copperbelt doing some work for my party, the Patriotic Front, and I made sure to keep a social distance and to sanitize and wash my hands. But somehow I still managed to contract the coronavirus. So I'm just blessed enough that I was able to be brought back home by the hospital, the Ndola Central Hospital. They tried their best that they could to stabilize my condition and bring me back, thank goodness. But it has been something that initially myself I thought was, it can't be real. How many people do get coronavirus? And it was just a thing I watch on the news, like a passerby type of thing. But then I got it, and I got so sick. I was fearing for my life, but God healed me, of course. So it's really real, and everybody needs to take it more seriously. And I feel like when people like myself with a platform talk about it, then people know that it's really serious and it's really real, and people need to stay safe. If you don't have to go anywhere, please stay home. If you can do your work from home. And if you have to go anywhere that is not your home, always remember to carry sanitizer. Don't depend on the one that they have in the store. Always wear a mask the right way. So please, I trust the Rise FM is going to run with this and tell everybody that coronavirus is real.
All right, thank you very much, Aris, for coding us with some time this morning. Now,
Thank you so much for having me.
We do, before you go, we do have something special that we do on Rise on the breakfast show early in the morning. We ask people to say good morning in their language. So just simply say good morning to the people of Chingola and the Copper Belts in your language.
I'm so lucky that this time around, because of my candidature in the Western Province, I've taken a very big interest in learning my language and my culture. Because I'm from here. So thank goodness, today I won't be very embarrassed. At least I can say good morning in my language. Okay. Rise FM, Muzuhile Chwani Shangwe.
Okay. Thank you
You're
very
supposed to
much.
say, you're supposed to respond
Oh,
then.
Mzure Chani. Okay, just kindly repeat that.
Say again.
Kindly repeat that. Here's the irony of it.
Yes, it's
Oh,
Muzuhile Chwani. Yes, that's how you say good morning.
Ensha.
Shangwe is just a respectful thing to add at the end, but Muzuhile Chwani is what it is.
Okay, now you're embarrassing me because I'm lousy and I can't speak my language.
Oh no, that hasn't served my life for a long time, but now I know the language, thank God.
All right,
You need
Iris.
to learn too.
I'm definitely coming through to learn one or two words that side as we
Of
campaign for
course.
you.
Of course. Oh, thank you so much. I'll be very pleased.
All right, thank you very much, Iris.
All right. Have a good one.